Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Morning Markets on Tuesday, the 18th of August. A couple of things that we've been discussing as a team today, and what is a relatively light sort of calendar of both events and market announcements over the past 24 hours. Indeed, it just feels like a normal August in terms of the news flow that's out in the marketplace at this point in time. Looking at equity markets, firstly, over the past 24 hours, relatively subdued performance in both UK and in Europe yesterday. We did see a bit of a reversal in the US of the trend from the last week, where we saw the technology-led, the growth-orientated businesses performing slightly better yesterday than the broader indices, so the Nasdaq outperforming the S&P 500 in the US. That was primarily as a result of, I think, what was happening in bond markets. Last week, we discussed how bond yields had moved up quite materially, so bond prices falling as a result. What did we see yesterday? We saw a slight reversal in that trend, with yields on the US 10-year coming in slightly, and that was a similar phenomena that we saw across other bond markets. So that did support, to an extent, that rotation that we saw in equity markets. Other things yesterday that continue to build on the trend that we've been discussing for the past number of weeks was ongoing weakness of the dollar. The dollar weakened on a trade-weighted basis by about 20 basis points relative to that basket of other currencies, and probably it was most evident of the weakness against the yen, euro, and sterling yesterday. Then if we just look at commodity markets, what's been happening there? We've seen gold and silver both move up over the past 24 hours and indeed build on some of that positive movement that they saw at the end of last week after what was a relatively volatile start to the week for both gold and silver last week. So the trend that has been evident in the market of weaker dollar, stronger gold prices, stronger precious metals, probably is a better way to think about that, with both silver and gold performing well over the past number of weeks, that trend continuing yesterday. Also in commodity markets, we've the OPEC Plus meeting ongoing today and tomorrow. Whilst nothing major is expected to come from that, it will be interesting to see how the OPEC Plus members discuss the current supply-demand balance and what they're seeing from a demand side, which may give some indication to their future plans then in terms of how they will deal with the supply side of that equation. Because as we have seen, and we've all seen it at the petrol pumps, we've seen it in the headlines, the oil price has moved up, a combination of economies reopening, demand increasing, but also taking account of the supply reduction that OPEC Plus have brought into the marketplace, but also the reduction from onshore shale asset production in the US as well. I think the other things from yesterday worth commenting on, it was the start of the Democratic convention in the US. We still are waiting for agreement between the Republicans and Democrats on a fiscal support package for the US economy. That appears to be mired in politics at this point in time. Yesterday, the Democratic convention kicked off. It's the first virtual convention that they're having. Didn't set out any significant policy agenda as yet, but that might come as we go through the week. I think what was clearly evident from the initial discussion and the initial presentations from a number of politicians, both interestingly on the Democratic side, but they did have a number of Republicans speak as well, which is, I suppose, quite novel and different. But clearly they are setting out an agenda that is really going to force the US electorate to make a choice between Trump and his leadership style and that which Biden is proposing. Also in politics, we've the resumption of UK-EU trade discussions this week. I don't think anything's really expected of that either, unfortunately. That's something that appears likely to go down to the wire. Just one other thing that is worth mentioning, and it is a theme that we've been touching on for a number of months now, is just the ongoing rhetoric and discussion between the US and China that continues to amplify. And we saw a further round of that yesterday with the Commerce Department blacklisting a number of the affiliate companies of Huawei, the Chinese technology communications company. And that just really ups the ante, if you will, against Chinese technology companies, but in particular Huawei. And it does, I think, probably get to the stage where it is really going to challenge the business model of Huawei in the near term, given that this will really curtail its ability to purchase the semiconductors that are crucial for its business. That's it from me today. Please do join us again tomorrow. And if you are enjoying our morning market section, please do hit like on YouTube. Many thanks.